night, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Hear This Now. Right, so what do we know the various names of witchcraft to be? We have obia, voodoo, black magic, new ageism, personality tests, right? And a whole lot more. So tonight's episode is all about witchcraft. Now, being from the Caribbean, we know that anytime something goes wrong is either we blame it on witchcraft or we try to solve it with witchcraft. Right? Go and take a little bush bath or whatever the case is, right? But that is besides the point. Chrissy Gill, take it away.
Olia, I just want to start off easy. All right. I want a simple definition. What is witchcraft at its base? What is it?
All right. So, witchcraft, according to Google, is the practice of magic, especially for evil purposes or the use of spells, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a modern context, religious practice involving magic and affinity with nature, usually within a pagan tradition. Bewitching or fascinating attraction or charm. So, fascinating attraction or charm
Mm-hmm.
is considered witchcraft as well.
Yeah, but like, okay. But then how do you go about it? Like, how do you do witchcraft? How do you even get into that? How do you become a witch? Because they just okay. That was a plain simple answer. All right.
It,
I want to get deeper a little bit. So how
Iran
do
seems as though he has something to say.
Oh, waiting for Krista to don't talk.
No, I just want to know. I just want to know how you just get into it, what you just actually do. Like, how do you create, like, what?
How does one become a witch?
How does one become a witch essentially?
Alright, first thing first, right? Get a book. Get a spellbinding book. I thought
Mm.
saying
Okay.
Chris. I say
Put the
some
mic to your
nonsense.
mouth.
I say some nonsense, Krista.
Get a
Get a
spellbinding
spellbinding.
book.
Yes,
You
and
could
get
just buy
a
those anywhere.
conjurer. Well,
Well,
yeah,
this is what I want to know.
basically. It are TikTokers and Instagrammers and them selling it and thing these days and are plenty. So that is the easiest thing to get these days. Or I never randomly scrolling through TikTok and see them demonic live stream and thing where they playing hymns and all them kind of thing.
Yeah, but
Not
I never
just playing
walk
him.
into a bookstore and see witchcraft, how to do it.
Or spells
No, I
or
think I saw that already. In a bookstore. Yes, I saw a witchcraft book in a bookstore already.
To
I
the wrong
believe
part of the
so.
bookstore then. Alright.
Still, I feel so. Because wait, no. It wasn't a bookstore, nah. Well, everybody here knows that I deal with natural ingredients and
mm-hmm.
etc. Right? Shout out Essence de la Mori. And in doing research for those things, you will
Mm-hmm.
see that a lot of people who actually make like natural balms and herbal teas and all these different things, a lot of them are witches because you see, one of the definitions they said that is an affinity with nature or something, so it said,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
right? And a lot of times when you go on these sites in order to like purchase ingredients and such, and then you go to like the books and thing, because obviously they'll have books for you to research the ingredients, etc., you will see witchcraft books. Like you'll see witchcraft books and them saying, well, this is how to do this and this is how to do that and all
So
that
it
jazz.
it seems like it's something that's intentional. Like you have to intentionally like get into it. But can you be born into it, or can you fall into it without even knowing?
Well, you see, that's the next thing I was going to talk about, right?
Mm.
It actually have simple household things that you could do to basically conjure up your own spirits and them kind of thing. For example, candles. You understand me?
Don't talk about my
Candles.
candles now. Don't
Yeah,
tell me
right.
about my
Uh,
candles.
All right, witch. Yeah. So candles, simple things like candles and things could be used, but it's really how and what you decide to use it to do, right? And I'll get to that later on, something called
Okay.
mediums, right?
Okay.
So it's basically however you decide to use it. Let me get my book, eh? Forgive me, everybody.
I
Yeah.
hope it's not your book of spells, I hope it's your notes you're looking for there.
I don't need to
Okay,
cast
but
spells, lady.
we talking about all this witch and how to become a witch and thing. But my question is there good witch and bad witch, or is all witch bad witch?
I mean,
Because in many of these shows and things, you just have a good witch and a bad witch, and the good witch should be helping people, and the bad witch is not
Agreed.
helping people. And you understand? So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, even as a child, the wicked witch of the west and then the witch of the east is the good one, or whatever. You understand? They're telling you about this good witch, bad witch thing in a kind of way. So, could you be a good witch?
I could only answer from my own like personal opinion. I just think it all bad. Like I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but I think it all just once
Yeah.
you delve it into that aspect, you're going off. No.
Yeah, I would Krista on that one too. And you see, the thing about it is, I know somebody would have asked that question and I forget to write down the script there like a dotish fool,
You have
right?
to go and look for it.
That's all right.
yeah,
Never
look
take
look
notes.
for it. Look for it
But I got
while I answer.
my Bible on my tablet, and that is what I'm using right now.
Oh, alright, you'll come back to know that.
No, well, might be able to come back to that with how the show running. So, all you go ahead, do all
Alright,
the thing.
alright.
But yeah, no, that well, obviously it didn't have no good witch or well, no, it had bad witches, but obviously it don't have like good witches, right? However, they
Mm,
will say that
Mhm.
okay, so like the witches that sell the ingredients,
yes.
I do not buy from these people, eh? But let me be honest with you, the main reason why I don't buy from them is because their stores is be expensive. Because they just have like the most no, I'm telling you, them just had top of the line teas and things that you can't find over here, all kind of thing. All kind of we just call these things essential oils and all kind of things. It's like, bro, but I digress. So they will say that they are good witches because
Mm-hmm.
they help paying others and stuff. And I went down the rabbit hole on TikTok many times, but this
Mm.
one specific time, I saw this man. Well, I don't know if men could be witches or guys like warlocks,
And they
Wizard,
Obiaman,
will.
Listen,
wizard.
same thing to me. Same thing
or
to me.
wizard, me, same thing, me. And they were like, witchcraft is a religion.
I heard that.
So, yeah, you practice Wiccan, and Wiccan is the religion of witches, and paganism is their religion. They are proud pagans, etc., etc. And then he
Mm.
was trying to say how. Oh wait, and that's why you can't say good morning. You have to say grand rising,
I'm
Okay.
sorry, what?
right? Because
No.
he was saying that even in our everyday lives, certain things that we will say are spells, right? So, like good morning, instead of saying good morning, you say grand rising. When you recite nursery rhymes like twinkle twinkle little star, all these things are spells, even the alphabet, spells. And he was like, why do you think it's called spelling? High level understanding,
Hey,
right?
hey.
High level understanding. Krista
Bro.
again.
Bro.
It's like they
All
think
I
that
trying to,
with this winter doctrine here.
I just trying to figure out, like, okay, it just sounds like a bunch of, let me,
Hoopla.
Yeah.
yeah, let's go with that word. Yeah.
Right? And he was saying that, well, oh, I heard a pastor say that, well, it's serious, something about I heard a pastor say, ring around the roses. That's it, ring around the roses,
Roses,
Yes,
bucket
I
bucket
full
heard
of
full
that
of
one
roses.
too.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
ashes, ashes, we all fall down. Those things are spells as well. Now, that one I really think is a spell, eh? God. I mean,
You know
it
what I
could be
heard
like
about that? Right?
folklore.
You know
Was
what
I
I heard
wrong?
about? You know what I heard about that nursery rhyme? That is a bomb dropping on people.
It
Yeah,
could be
because
that too,
ashes.
eh?
Could be that too. Yes, yes. Mm.
Yeah, that's why I said they probably was
Yes.
singing about, the tragedy that took place. Just like
But
Humpty Dumpty and these things are, were real stories and such.
Mm.
And they just made it into like these nursery rhymes. But yeah.
okay. That's a new one.
So
Not
I
anywhere
went
normal.
down the,
You went
I
down the
went down the
rabbit hole.
rabbit hole.
Well, you see, I went down the rabbit hole too now, boy. And what I hear somebody talk about was perfume and cologne, right?
Sounds
Ooh, you
familiar.
went down the rabbit hole.
And what it was basically saying, right? Yeah, well, Jane mentioned potions earlier on, right? I was going to mention potions too, right? In
Mm-hmm.
things that connected to witchcraft now. What it was basically saying, what is the reason why men and women just wear perfume,
To attract the other sex.
You smell good.
right? So it basically be using as a medium, right? That's what the person was saying, right?
Mm.
Now, with me, I real skeptical about certain things, but you understand? There's are certain things that is connected the dots a little bit
The
better than some now. You understand? I don't believe that, because I find I taking it real far. But the fella, he sound convincing, right? That is one thing I could say. He sound real convincing with the whole why you're naming a potion, you're having it in a kind of potion bottle and you're naming it and it's supposed to do this thing and all this kind of madness he was talking about, right?
No.
The fella
Go
sound
ahead.
convincing, but I just saying
Let him go with that doctrine now. Go on. And we just get take up every now and then with the
I didn't get
conspiracies.
take up love. I didn't get take up love. What I was saying is dog, you went a little too far, but I could understand what you're saying, right? So I just yeah.
I actually do believe that there are some of those little oils and those things.
Shanty oil
When
and
you
thing.
buy it from certain people and certain places, you're actually really inviting spirits into your place and on you. That I actually do believe. Not a normal perfume you go there and you buy a color be red and it will bring a spirit in it. That no.
Thank you.
But there
Thank you.
are the oils and things that you can bring it into your home and invite spirits. That and things like crystals. Yes. Don't go and buy the people crystals and think, oh, this look nice. Brother.
Hold,
No.
take
Yes.
a seat, take a seat before I go.
Okay. So I have two minds when it comes to this, right? The first one is yes, Shangirl, I understand them. Crystal and them is a different breed, right? However,
Hmm.
I think it depends on the purpose you use the thing for. Because, and I don't want to take a point that, our lovely host Krista said to me today, but this was always a part of my thinking because I want to use certain things that people will claim are demonic in my formulations. And one of them is crystals, right? Now, the thing about it is, if God made this thing, then it can't be evil. Like you see, when people say, snakes evil and all that nonsense. That has just drive me up a wall, because it is not that snakes are evil, it's just that evil people use snakes as a symbol of something. So like if we dream snakes, and that's in our next whole conversation, right? But if we dream snakes, it is not because the enemy made a snake, and and therefore we dream it, and so therefore it symbolizes something evil. He will use the snake to symbolize something evil, or to symbolize witchcraft or whatnot in your life, because he knows that that is what humans have turned the snake into. Because in the Bible it says to be as wise as a serpent, yet harmless as a dove. So why would God want us to emulate something that is evil? That don't make sense to me. Why is it that God has crystals and metals and all of these things on the gates of heaven, and I, a child of God, cannot use it because you, a child of the devil, decide you need to steal it and do your nonsense?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know if you're done yet. If you're
About
resting back a little bit, but I want to
I
jump on
rested
that
back
little
for
bit.
a little bit.
Okay. When it comes to these crystals, and I know they have enneagrams and all these other things, right? I firmly disagree with labeling anything demonic, because it means to me that the enemy actually created something new. And if I, as a Christian, believe that God is the creator of all things, right? And God is the source and he's the truth, then how can I say that the enemy is that how can I claim that something is demonic? How can I claim that something is of the devil, meaning he created it? If you even go back to scripture in Genesis, and you're talking about the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, right? God created that. God planted it there. It was the enemy that came and manipulated, what's her face? Eve. sorry, sorry, Eve. Manipulated Eve to go and disregard God's orders. And that's kind of what he does. He takes things that already exist. At least this is what I believe. He takes things that already exist and he chooses to manipulate it. Whatever information God has out there, he manipulates it for his benefit. Whatever physical thing, these crystals, he uses it for his benefit. And he what's the word? He entices the human flesh. He entices the human mind to then to continue that manipulation. So and here's the thing, I have a kind of strong thing, because not too long ago I had an instance with some crystals, and I'm going to talk about that in that scenario, but it was very traumatic for me. Okay, it was very traumatic, and it was kind of how I was truly introduced to um witchcraft. Well, no, I was introduced to witchcraft through witchcraft prayers. Like we had a whole what's a Bible study or youth meeting, something talking about witchcraft prayers. That's the first time I ever hear that witchcraft was bad. I was very new in my faith. And what, last year or so, that is when I had I got a crystal from somebody, but let's not go into that story, right? And that's when my study started on it. And I realized, you know what? I'm not labeling anything demonic. I believe in demonic practices. I believe in demonic ways of thinking, but to label something demonic means to give that power to the enemy. And also, one last thing is that when we do that, we cannot take away accountability from ourselves, right? We have the ability to follow God, choose our flesh, or choose the enemy, right? And when we talk about, okay, this demonic thing, that we take away that response, that accountability from ourselves to wake up and say, wait a minute, no, I have a say in who I choose to serve. And so, yeah, that's kind of like my whole thing on it. There's more, but I listen. I again
I
hype up
feel
with this
like
talk.
I feel like Sean do some research to hit Tanya. Rukunkutunkuga. See, Sean like
Hit
she
me,
googling something there.
That is
Sean. Hit me.
exactly the opposite of what
Oh,
happened.
oh,
Well, that is Aaron, because Aaron set up like a mafia boss, and he like, all right, when she done, I go in and crush everything she just
listen.
say. Now, I believe certain things are demonic, yeah? But go ahead, Aaron, because it hurts in you.
Me too, tell me at all. I said I'm with Sean on this. I strongly believe that them crystal things is to remain out of your house.
No,
Right?
it's because I didn't get the point of
No,
what
well,
I personally was saying.
sweetheart, I'm not trying to sell you anything, I just telling you my preference on it, You understand? I'm not trying to sell you nothing. Because that argument could be used as the gun, right? The
Okay.
gun make
Mm.
out of things God make too. The bullets in it.
Right, exactly. And a gun in itself is
Okay.
not evil. Is what people do with it
Do.
because
What
God and
what it
all
was
say that it's a time to fight.
yeah, but what it was designed to do? You're not supposed to be killing nobody.
No, but even it have a part of the Bible. I think when Jesus was talking to Peter and was telling him, "Hey, draw your sword.
Oh, excuse me.
It have time to draw your sword and it have time to pull away your sword." So that not making sense. How you could tell God this thing came from the earth? Crystals came from the earth. What I think is demonic, and as a demonic practice, is when people use the crystals as a source of power to replace the goodness of God. You understand? So even in crystal's circumstance here, that person gave her that crystal, and that crystal wasn't a case of, oh, it looks so pretty, and I think it will look pretty on you, so put it on. It was a source of, oh my gosh, this crystal will heal you in more ways than one. Please wear it. That is the witchcraft. Just like how sage in itself is not evil, but people smoking out their house and talking about this sage will fix my life and this sage will smoke out the demons. And if you cough when I put my sage, it's because the demon in you.
I mean, like, we agree to disagree.
Agreed. So, Aaron,
No,
you don't
well,
cook
it's
with sage.
Was that?
You
no,
don't
I
cook
we
with
never
wouldn't.
cook
sage.
with I never cook with cheese. I use spices.
And spices can be regarded as
Wait,
part
hold
of
up.
which occultism, like you
I
was
thought
listening.
sage is a spice.
I don't
You know,
remember
sage is
saying
a
this.
herb,
Ah, herb. Yes, it's a herb.
right? So even those things, even the things that you cooking with could be considered a part of, occult practices if you use it in a certain way.
Listen, right? Truth be told, me don't know much about this, right? If I do some more research and I discover what it's saying is truth, I could always change my views concerning the matter. Simple. But for right now, let me agree to disagree.
No, I
Wait, but
agree
I
with that.
just want to, I just want to understand what he's saying because, like, okay, it's not to say the devil come and plant crystals in the ground.
I understand what you are saying, Miss Lady. All I'm saying is let me agree to disagree. That's all I say.
No, I think I understand what he's saying too, because when I first discovered about, the whole crystal thing, I was just like pelting any kind of crystal, any kind of any kind of jewelry, I was throwing it away. I was like, nope, I don't want to have to. I don't until I understand what this is. I don't want to deal with it at all. So I guess I kind of understand that. But he did say when, if he does some research and he sees what he's saying, if it's true, he'll change his mind. I get that.
I understand everything that Jay was saying. Because the devil, of course, he didn't make anything. But my thing is, every time you see those crystals, or somebody give you a crystal or something,
Is
it
that
is not for a good purpose. Most of the time, they do
that
not give you these things for good reasons. They will
I
just
agree.
get that like for crystal, this for healing, or they say, oh, so you want money, hold this crystal. You understand? That is the use of the thing is what makes it to be bad. And even if you're going to a store to buy it, when you take a sniff of the store that you're in, you realize you don't want to buy it in here because it's not good. So then, is how where do I get it for my own self to know that, you know what I mean? And I'm not willing to go and buy it to fight off movie. I'm not going to.
Thank you.
I'm
I
not
don't
talking
even
about buying. I'm talking about if you find one.
if I find it, it's staying right there because I don't know who had it before. It stays right there. That's just me.
So
But I
question, right? Because I know amongst this around this time when I was discovering about crystals and whatnot, something came up in the conversation about when you buy stuff from certain people or whatever, you pray over it. So like sometimes if it are people in your neighborhood who selling food and they kind of you pray over that food before you eat to cast away anything, any spell or whatever. Can that not be the case with the crystal?
like I say, I don't want to be the one to discover that somebody had something on this while I sleep in the night. I don't know. I don't want to make that discovery. So I'm just not gonna bother.
That's
Just
what
forget
I
it.
said. Like, okay, first of all, you want to know why the food reference kind of not making sense? Because where we getting our food from? You don't know if the farm that grow the tomatoes or the chana or whatever the case is was was planted by an occultist leader.
I meant, wait, what? I meant
No,
cooking.
if we no, but think about it this way.
Okay.
Even if you buy cooked food from somebody, right, and
Mm-hmm.
you see that they have a shrine in the back of the van or whatever the case is, that is the part of the evil that you could see. But what about the part of the evil that you can't see? What about the part of the evil that you cannot see? So the tomatoes that you're buying in the grocery, you
Mm-hmm.
know if the grocery people throw their little water and
No.
whatnot on it, they obia water on the tomatoes and wash it on. You know if the farm was on a burial ground, an ancient burial ground. You know if before they open the doors they smoke out the grocery and then you went inside to buy. You don't know what any of these big conglomerate people doing. You don't know what the farmers doing. You don't know what
Mhm.
anybody doing. However, if you have the sense to see that when you go and you
And
buy in your doubles, let me just get real here. When you go and you buy your doubles and you see the big shrine in the back of the van and you still decide to purchase from the doubles vendor, then you are a right. You insert
I
what
don't,
you have to
okay. I
insert,
don't
right?
understand what you're saying. I don't understand what you're saying.
So if you know, if you have the knowledge and you know that if you see, because it's not to say they just handing you a crystal, bam, hold that in your hand and go. They either telling you what the crystal is for,
For
or it looks familiar to something that you have seen in one of these occult places, and you tell yourself, all right, I don't know what that is. It always have an identifier. I don't know what that is. I ain't want it. And so therefore I'm gonna go and take this and then pray over it, because who say you spiritually strong to pray over anything anyhow you take it? You know how much fight you had to fight sometimes to get rid of them thing?
true. True. I see your
Hallelujah.
Somebody,
point.
yeah, somebody with very good intentions gave a few items to Aaron and I, and for weeks, almost a month, I can't get that off my mind. I like this thing, boy, this thing, and it's something very simple. You wouldn't even believe. And I like, what it is,
Bed
what it is,
sheets.
what it is, what it is. No, no, what it is about this thing that I just can't get off my mind. And then I say, you know what? Let me go and throw this thing away. Yes. Soon as I throw it away, everything start to flourish.
Mm.
because I did not see the evil that I did not see behind what that person gave to me.
Right.
High level understanding.
Yo. But yeah, Jade, I fully agree. Be careful of what you bring into your place, what you allow on you, around you, because you just never know what you're dealing with. And then just now there when you're talking about you did not see what the evil that was behind what you didn't see. However, you just say it. Right? And it reminds me of a show that I still ain't finished watch up to now. I don't know for some reason I just can't finish watch the show. Behind Her Eyes. I take real long to even watch the pieces of that I watch because it was creeping me out in a kind of way that not normal. That is the show where the girl was with the people man and the people man wife was astral projecting and watching she all the time and thing.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Girl,
I don't know what show that is.
she going to
And I
work
don't
in the
want to.
place. She boss had a wife. She didn't care. She and the boss end up in thing. And the man wife was astral projecting and watching everything that they was doing and everything she was doing. And she was coming in the office and talking to the girl about things that happened in her home and whatever. And then she was like, "No, well, I'm just guessing," or making some kind of something to make it seem like, you know, I'm not looking at you every single day, 24/7. From up over your bed. Yeah. So
What kind
that
of
had me
spiritual OnlyFans is that?
well, she watching she husband and this woman, and then she watching the woman, and the woman have a son, and she watching this son. I was at a man. It's like I say, I couldn't finish watch it. So I didn't even know how it ended because I just read about it and realized what was going on. I couldn't take it. So that led me to ask about this astral projection thing. What form of witchcraft is this? Why am I
Oh.
forcefully, purposefully ejecting my soul from my body? Why would anybody do such a thing? What do you think about this astral projection nonsense?
You know nothing about
Demonic.
that.
Demonic.
When they
Here.
say that you just be astral projecting when you're like on your deathbed and
What?
I don't
like
know.
What?
like
I hope I hope
days
that's not the case.
so like a few days before you're about to die, they say that your soul just come out your body and just like watch yourself sick on the bed and think.
Right.
I know about that. Mm-mm.
I hope
I don't
that's not the
actually
case.
actually don't find
No.
that hard to believe, to be honest.
No.
Because when
You
you're
said what she
sick,
said?
it is be I don't find it hard to believe because when you're sick, it is really be hallucinated and stuff like that. And then too
Unless
when
people take drugs.
no, like when some people really seriously terminally ill, they just be what else?
Astral projection.
When people are seriously terminally ill, they just be hallucinating and think crazy.
Okay,
Like they
but
just see spirits and think
But if that is true, that is not the same as you purposefully
well
ejecting your
true,
soul from your body.
true, it kinda involuntary, involuntary. So I don't think
I mean, this is the temple of God that's supposed to host the Holy Spirit. So then why am I doing
Well, yeah,
Exiting it.
I feel like astral project a few times, you know.
I don't think you astral project. I think
Okay.
that you were in this Holy Spirit or what God probably, just showed you something, whatever. I heard some pastors talk about, God took me to whatever place and I saw whatever I saw, whatever. I
hmm.
mean, I think some of them probably didn't do that to the Holy Spirit, but anyhow, yeah, see what they see, but it's not the same thing. And God would not let you put yourself out of your body to cause harm to nobody. And most of the time, if you're doing that, it's not for the
A
purposes of
good reason,
a good
exactly.
reason. So
Mm-hmm.
it can never be good. You understand? I tell you, that sure will creep me out and ever. Every now and then I just still think about it. Even though
I
I'm
think
finished watching it. For the years last week.
I think people is being astral projected literally just to make away business. I mean, I like a Tory just as the next person, but I ain't
But
have time to waste like that.
You
Yeah,
could just
but
come and ask me.
when they astral project, they could actually do things too. Like in the show, she was interfere with the girl phone and she clock on the bedside table and thing.
Yeah, that real, eh? That real.
Serious?
Yes. All you need to read the book, prepare for war. I remember when mommy bring home that book, boy. And me with my curious self, I was always into like spirit world things, right? Those things, I don't know why, but I was just always into those things. And I gone with my little self reading this book. And well, boy, when I tell you nightmares, when I tell you nightmares, that book can still scare me. Prepare for why? No, no, sir. I'm not reading that book. No,
So you
no,
never
I
finished
lie.
it.
During the pandemic, I have no idea why, but during the pandemic in 2020, I read that book once more, and I was like,
any nightmares?
no, because somebody sleeping next to me.
I guess I will not be reading that book then. No.
Nah, don't do that. Nah. It will show you different things like this topic. If you all had read that book for this topic, woo, information like yoga and all these different things it's telling you about that, and like the thoughts that you'll have and all of those things, but we'll get to those. That book really gives you like a serious insight. But on the topic of Shan and this astral projection, girl, I was watching a 700 Club where this Satan priest, high priest, was telling us about how serious the spirit world is, right? And how serious like the power of prayer is, where he would astral project and he would go into certain areas of his neighborhood and cause disruption. So like he astral projecting and he using his demonic powers to cause disruption and cause like depression in the neighborhood and just like hopelessness in the neighborhood, etc. Right? And he said the neighborhoods that were never affected by those things were the
I love
neighborhoods
it.
where they have praying
Yeah,
people. Like he would literally hover and he would see like groups of people praying in certain territories, and he would know, okay, well, I can't touch them. And I at first I thought it was like, how they like to exaggerate when they talk about these things, but he's not the only one I heard, say that. This next witch who was training to be a priestess, same Santeria thing, she said that she used to astral project too. And she said that she would try to do those things in like households and families, territories, etc. And where they would have praying families and praying people, you would see like a white veil over the house or over the territory, and she knew she couldn't do anything to those people.
I remember this. I feel like you told me about this before.
So they weren't afraid that somebody keep them out of the body.
Well, you see, that is where we could get into the topic of them, and this going to sound real controversial, but they seem to have more power than Christian people because,
I not saying. Go ahead. Say it.
right?
Say it. Say it.
Because apart from the children of this world being wiser in their generation than the children are light, if a lot of Christian people would understand that the spirit world is a real thing. Remember, we grow up hearing, um, then magic and thing not real, ghosts not real,
Yes.
spirits not real, this not real,
Yes.
that not real, nothing real, right? Nothing
Mm-hmm.
real to the average Christian. But to the demon worshipper, the devil worshipper, everything real,
Exactly.
right? So to us now, it's a case of you being over spiritual, you anything, you this, you that. But to them, you not they're not over spiritual, right? So when them practicing how to disrupt you and your life and your family, you know what we say? We don't have that to study.
They have more faith in it than we have in our God.
That too, right? Because we don't even believe that the spirit will read. Oh, all they talking as that thing, hocus pocus, da 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 da. But you don't know, right? And they very well know. And I think the reason why I like to listen to these things is because I get an insight,
Know
right?
that
I
enemy.
want to know the plan. So
Know that enemy.
exactly, I want to know the plan so I can defeat the enemy. But to the rest of the world, you think you just so religious.
No, but it is Satan true. Those children of darkness, they don't be afraid to tell you what they believe. They
Exactly.
will
Mm-hmm.
tell
Because
you what they believe. They will show you what they believe. They will come on TikTok and do what they
Evangelize.
believe and what you follow them with what they believe. And we Christians will just be like, oh gosh, look at what I'm doing. I'm not going to be like, okay, so am I going to go on TikTok and worship? Am I going to go on TikTok and read my Bible and preach a word? Instead, no. You
Mm-hmm.
just like, oh my gosh, look at these people. Oh, but that's so evil. Oh my god, they're doing witchcraft on TikTok. Don't go there.
and that's only if you believe in the witchcraft that you're doing, eh? Because remember
You're
it's
not.
kicks.
Yeah, funny man thing. Yeah, but
This topic heavy. This topic have a lot of nuance. I'm sorry. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Aaron, you have anything to add?
Nope.
Right? So if
I
we don't go ahead.
no, I have a question. I don't know if we want to stay on the astral projection topic
you
for a little
know,
bit, but just to go back to the witchcraft part, right? We never really got into witchcraft prayers, and I wanted to know what exactly is a witchcraft prayer. Aside from the, you have your little potion and you're talking over it. Can Christians pray witchcraftly? Oh God, I'm trying to ask. I'm trying to ask.
Well, I have something here. Is
Mm-hmm.
not it mentions witchcraft prayers, but you'll hear it anyway, right?
Yeah.
So it is basically about charismatic witchcraft, which includes witchcraft prayers, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the name of it is Shocking Exposure of Charismatic Witchcraft in the Church by DestinyImage.com. When I was born again, I didn't know there was such a thing as charismatic witchcraft. I thought all Christians were operating out of the same spirit, the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were all on the same team. I thought blind loyalty and submission were the sign of a true disciple because that is what I was taught in the Jezebelic church in which I landed. I spent 8 years under the cloud of charismatic witchcraft's intimidation and control. Now I'm warning the church against it. Charismatic witchcraft was around long before anyone used those terms to describe it. Yes, there's witchcraft in the church. Yes, Christians are practicing charismatic witchcraft. If you ask 10 people for a solid definition of charismatic witchcraft, you'll probably get 10 slightly different answers. Let's use the definition of witchcraft as a baseline. The best definition I've found comes from the late Derek Prince in his classic book, They Shall Expel Demons. The deliverance minister and spiritual warfare expert pointed to an unnamed dictionary's definition of witchcraft. the art or exercise of magical powers, the effect or influence of magical powers, or an alluring or seductive charm or influence. And I'll get to that just now. Have you ever heard someone say he's got a magical smile? That's another way of saying he's got charisma. Charisma is a personal magic of leadership arousing special popularity, loyalty, or enthusiasm, according to the Merriam Webster's dictionary, and a special magnetic charm or appeal. In considering both definitions and the personal experiences I've had with being the target of charismatic witchcraft, this is my definition. Charismatic witchcraft is exerting ungodly influence through carnal powers of charisma to seduce someone to think or act according to your will. Charismatic witchcraft begins as a work of the flesh, but left to run its course, this fleshly behavior attracts demon powers. These demon powers work through an individual to manipulate, intimidate, control, and ultimately dominate believers in order to bend their will toward their viewpoint. Charismatic witchcraft is released through tactics such as fear, prophetic flattery, and witchcraft praise. Charismatic witchcraft practitioners seek their own gain, use sincere people who want to serve God to build their own kingdom, and otherwise use and abuse people for their own purposes.
Hmm. Well,
Right,
Listen, I'm being a sponge right now and I'm soaking up all of the information.
Sailor?
that sounds like something that I've heard before. Things mentioned in there sounds like things I have been privy to hear
Witness too.
and witnessing. Ooh.
So in
Mm.
other words, it all depends on if you choose to follow us something somebody's saying then.
And if you're susceptible, like if, because not everybody have the same level of, I don't want to say common sense, but like street smarts kind of thing, common sense.
And that's my point I
So,
was going to make, Krista.
oh, sorry, I thought you was done.
No, no, no. I was letting you finish, but I thought you was done to be honest.
No, go
Um,
ahead.
I don't believe in this, in charismatic witchcraft. I just believe it are dotish people who will listen.
Um,
I believe in witchcraft. I believe in
No, I never said I don't believe in
no,
witchcraft. I don't believe
or
in
this
charismatic
sector.
witchcraft. Yeah. All right. For me, is this right?
Explain. Yeah.
If a person could have how much charisma in the world, as long as you see through them, you see through them. It's not a witchcraft. All of us does do it indirectly sometimes. When it comes to this, right? Because the basis of charismatic witchcraft is basically manipulation, right?
Yes.
Right. Manipulation to me is not a witchcraft because
man,
everybody do it. You were saying some?
No, go ahead.
Right. Manipulation to me is not a witchcraft on the basis of because everybody does it directly or indirectly sometimes. Everybody.
Yeah. Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Okay. So the word manipulation is okay in today's society. How we use it is always in a negative term, in terms of like, okay, we manipulate things. For manipulation is bad, we deem it as something as bad, but manipulation in itself is not always bad, right? And so I think for me, the reason why I believe in the charismatic witchcraft is because you're manipulating things not for the purpose of God, or not because God said, all right, go and fish this, or go and do this. You're doing it so that another person or another thing could submit to your will instead of God's.
Then you are just a manipulator. If you have the street smarts, as you say, Krista, right? And the know it all. And when I say know it all, I'm using it as a likely as a very light term to mean that hey, I know what you're trying to sell me is nonsense. Therefore, I will not listen to what you're trying to say. For the example, right? Jade mentioned the whole preaching thing, right? The reason why, in my opinion, certain people get lead astray when it comes to the Bible is because they never actually read the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
right? So therefore, if you never read something, then it is easier for you to manipulate somebody into doing something and say, well, this is what God said in the Bible. But if you know something, right, then
Mm-hmm.
it is harder for you to be manipulated, right? That is why
True.
I am an advocate for people to do reading and all this kind of thing, right? The more you understand, is the less somebody will actually have not a reason, a way to manipulate you into doing something you don't know about.
Yeah, but it's still a practice. Just the enemy comes to lie, da, da, da. Everybody knows the scripture, right? Everybody knows the
Hopefully,
scripture. Hopefully, hopefully. Sorry, but I didn't come prepared to pull it up right now.
still
I
kill
know
the
what
right?
Still,
I
yes,
know what you're talking about, Krista. Come on.
right? His like whether you are strong enough or whatever, he still has his practices. He still has his methods of manipulation of manipulating things. And yes, he does tend to prey on the weak, people who are not spiritually strong or spiritually strong in that moment.
Or
But it doesn't
mentally.
take mentally that as well. But it doesn't take away from the fact that his practices are demonic, his practices are evil. So just
Yes, it's
because somebody doesn't isn't susceptible to your practice does not mean your practice is not
Do exist.
bad. Yeah.
right. So let me ask you a question, right? People perish for a lack of knowledge. Truth or false?
True.
Well, true.
Right. So therefore, if you know something, the amount of manipulation somebody could lay on it, the amount of sweet talk, sweet smile, sweet face, sweet D, they could um add to it, you will not be manipulated.
No, well, that is
Because
the
let me
thing.
be real. Let me be real, right? Let me be real. All of we on this panel here, one at one point in we time, believe that something some pastor used to tell we, and then when we get to
Yeah.
understand certain thing in the Bible, we came to understand that hey, Bible, you're talking bull.
Yes. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So my point is, right, with saying is a witchcraft, right? Means that some demon fly on you, right?
No,
On
Not necessarily.
no, you see, you was missing.
it
Just
starts off. Go ahead, Jude.
it okay, according to what I just read, right? It is not that some demon fly on you, it's that you're using demonic forces in order to get what you want, right? Now,
Then you are influenced by demons. That is what that I just basically say it in a shorter way. Then if somebody charismatically bewitch you, let me just say that, right? Then that means their demonic power fly on you. I just say
okay,
it in a different way, right? So that would mean that you're totally blind then. That means that it had no kind of way of you finding out the truth for yourself.
no, well, this is the thing. There's such a thing called deliverance, right? Where sometimes um we break out of certain mindsets or thought patterns, paradigms. We break out of those things because we were delivered in some way. It could be, as you say, a book, a piece of information, a thought that God downloaded in your mind, a question you had that you decided to research, or whatever the case is. Sometimes a situation, all those different things. So manipulation in terms of like when we're talking about charismatic witchcraft, it's not just manipulation, it's intimidation, it's fear, it's false prophecies, it's false prayers, all these different things where it's like a susceptible person, as Krista said, will go into, and this is where brainwashing comes into play. Because if you are strong up here, right, and you know that everything somebody tell you, you need to go and question that, you need to go and research it, then you are less likely to be brainwashed, you are less likely to be a victim of charismatic witchcraft, right? But if you fresh, and is mostly charismatic witchcraft mainly affects two people, the very new Christian and the very old Christian who is very religious and don't have no relationship with God, them just like to follow rules, right? So if you know that you have sense, you will less likely be a victim of charismatic witchcraft. But if you know you don't have no sense, then that's how people just end up in cults. That's how people just end up drinking Kool-Aid in a forest and dying.
Hmm. And these same people just take the same words from the Bible and use it to do their witchcraft. So you will think, oh well, yeah, that's in the Bible, and then not unknowing to you, you fall into this charismatic witchcraft net, and you didn't even know.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because
True.
at some point, everybody didn't know something and got caught into something else. And then
Yes.
only when you grow and find out, oh my goodness, this is what this is. Or like JT, you get delivered, then you know. But at some point, there is something that you do not know. And you could fall into the witchcraft.
Yeah, but is it witchcraft or is it just lack of knowledge?
No, well, they
Witchcraft
call
is
it
Both.
witchcraft.
witchcraft. They call it witchcraft because when you try to take the glory from God, then it is demonic.
I thought it
So
was called
any
that blasphemy.
practice, what?
I
What?
thought it was called that blasphemy when you try to take the glory from God.
Yes, and blasphemy is demonic.
Just like
Yeah, I know
witchcraft.
blasphemy is demonic.
Well, right. So any action you use, any action you take to take the glory away from God and to drive people towards yourself, then you are antichrist, which is demonic.
Manic.
You're
Yes.
antichrist pro Satan, which is demonic.
In that case, I understand it, but really and honestly, I don't believe that you just saying words is just a witchcraft on a whole.
No, it's not just saying words.
Your
Is
words
That is
have power,
using
you
no,
know.
that is the point I was arguing. That is the point I was arguing. If you just saying words, is witchcraft.
okay, in just now explain in what way? Because we just went over that charismatic witchcraft is using biblical principles wrongly, right? And trying to influence people to do all kind of thing that you want them to do. So when you say just saying words, what do you mean?
Right. I'm talking about if you could just use words, just say something and manipulate somebody.
I
That's the
mean, if you're
point.
feeble, if your mind hello feeble, then I
And that
guess.
and that's all I was saying. All I was saying is I don't believe it like that. Right?
So you mean once they
I understand when you say the when you take the Bible and you manipulate it, yeah, antichrist, wherever, 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 right? But all I am saying is, right, the basis of manipulation, right? Everybody manipulates. Like everybody does do it indirectly or directly. Sometimes we do even know we manipulating somebody, right?
me
So
lifting my phone is manipulating the phone?
that's not what I mean, Chrissy.
No,
Go
I know, but I see. I know,
conquer.
but I just see.
And it depends on your intention.
That too.
That too.
Jade, question. Didn't it
Anyway,
the
this is
according to what you were saying, right? Didn't he say something about it starts off with the mind of the flesh, about a fleshly want, the fleshly desire, and then it transforms when it attracts, sorry, the demonic presence
Mhm.
or spirits or whatever, and then that's when I guess when it becomes full blown of witchcraft. Sorry,
Yeah,
charismatic witchcraft.
charismatic witchcraft begins as a work of the flesh, but left to run its course, this fleshly behavior attracts demon powers.
And your words have a lot of power. Words is what created the world, so words could create situations and manipulate situations and stuff in other people's lives too.
Yeah, with fair, as it says here, with fair prophetic flattery, witchcraft is. Right? So with the prophetic flattery is somebody telling you, God is saying that you will get a house, but he says in order for you to get this house, you need to stay here and serve in this ministry. Like that kind of nonsense. God say you'll get a husband. But in order for you to get that husband, you need to stay here and do something in this ministry.
Or what? There's a person on your job there, and you want them to move so you can get a position. So God says every day you go and give them a biscuit. What? What's this? Them kind of things. And people, like I said, people who don't know or people who are susceptible will fall into that pattern of thinking that these are the things that I should do to get what I want. And it could be even worse because you could get that person fired or something, or themselves end up being possessed by you just doing something that you think is normal, or you very well know that is not normal, but you still do it anyhow. So, this is mine what you say and do. Jade, I think you're muted.
Yeah, you're muted. Yeah, you're muted.
Yeah, before we go on, because I want to ask something too, but concerning the prayers thing, but let's see what Edward Life would say. It's not only about the action or actions of persons. There are also those who use the word of God, that is, they pray witchcraft prayers. Yes, he was responding to something that Aaron was
Saying.
saying there, right? So, okay, so we know witchcraft prayers when you pray and you say, God, I want Steve specifically to be my husband, right? Or God, I want Rachel on the work to please get fired.
Hmm.
Or God, I want this car that I see in Massey showroom to be mine from specifically Massey's showroom. We know that that is witchcraft prayers, right? When you're being overly specific, because you could be specific, eh? You could say, God, yeah, well, I want my child to come out with blonde hair, blue eyes, right? That is not witchcraft prayers because that wasn't even exist yet. But you're hoping, you're asking God, and according to your genes, if you have sense, if that will take place. However, other specific things like praying for specific people to do specific things and bend to your specific will, that's witchcraft prayers. Now, when we pray the Psalms,
People just use that too.
is that witchcraft?
You could pray the Psalms, those are what David used. Not so? David used those when he was in time of joy and sorrow and anger and everything. He prayed his prayers. But people does use it a certain way. You see, is the
As
intention of the
witchcraft prayers, yeah.
person and what they want from what they're doing. You
hmm
understand? People is
Because
using things into witchcraft.
yeah, because you're praying, Lord, how are they increase that trouble me? And you're picturing Rachel on the walk.
Exactly.
Many are they that rise up against me, Lord. And you're watching Rachel and you hope Rachel slip and fall on her pavement,
You're doing witchcraft.
right? Now, let me be honest here. All of us who, into the book of Psalms, etc., there are times where we really go through trials
True.
caused by specific people or caused by a
That's a
specific
story.
person
Or things.
or things. And we pray what it is, you are my light and salvation, whom shall I fear? And all these different things. You go into your Psalms 27, and you pray your prayers. And sometimes it is very hard for you to not picture that person's, I mean,
It's not.
situations is one thing, but it's very hard for you to not picture that person or persons,
I've never had that.
right? And so, well, lucky you. And so, you know, because I had to question myself at one point. I was like, Jade, did you look beyond this girl? Because after I heard God tell me, Jade, go buy that girl a chocolate, she no longer has a job. So it's like, what?
You sure it was God? Just to make sure. You sure it
You
was
never
God,
pray
right?
and say,
It was.
God, get so
'Cause
and so out of this work. Did
yeah,
you pray
that's
and
true,
say,
eh? That's true.
Okay.
I never say that.
well, then it didn't work? Any
Any
witchcraft or
Ubia. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
you didn't do OBA.
No, I meant I blended two
Well,
words.
I had a time, right, earlier, as on scholarship. And I don't know if I tell all of the story, but I was on scholarship. And it's four of us in our apartment. We basically two beds in a room, whatever. So the facilities person for some reason always used to come by me and my friend room, right? So, don't know why. She was very nice to us and all of those things. And sometimes we come back and hear that she was in the room under the guise of she's checking the place. She was in our room and thing. And then one night I sleeping and well the bed head was to the wall that have the fire escape, right? I'm sleeping and I am dreaming that this demon coming into the room through the fire escape, right? Y'all, so that's a scary experience. And the same time, it come into the room and was coming towards the bed and looking directly at me in my face. Y'all, I literally sleeping and I woke up like this and started to scream. That's the first time ever. I literally scream out at that point. And my room was like, girl, what's going on with you? You okay? What's going on? What's going on? Because that was real weird. So when next morning now, I wake up, I call him, I said, Mommy, something is not right. And she told me to read some Psalms, right? So that's why I was like, "Hmm." I read those Psalms. She said, read those Psalms every single day. Get some oil and anoint the top of the door, anoint all of the oil things in the room. Make sure you say your Psalms, say your prayers, go to school and come back. And we did that for like a week or two. And in between that week or two, we literally stopped seeing the lady. No, she did not get fired. She
She
did not
died.
the fire escape. She did not die. But we stopped seeing the lady, and every time we saw her now, even if we said good morning, she would not answer us. So, there are times where you need to use it. But the thing is, we weren't saying it, saying these psalms and thinking, she should dead. No, I was thinking, this spirit needs to stop bothering me rather than this lady
Mm-hmm.
needs to die. So it's all in the how you do what you do. I think she's still alive. I don't know. But, she stopped talking to us and thing. I didn't mind. I didn't have to get up and scream about in life again. So, yeah.
Yeah. And Aaron and I had a similar experience where it's like we went to visit family for a good while, came back, and two demons were trying to get into our house. Got up. Well, people who don't know nothing about the spirit will listen to me right now, and them like, what the jail is we going on with Ole boy?
Hmm.
Right? And you know, I got up and I said Psalms 27, and then, oh Lord, oh Lord.
Hmm.
Oh,
Did somebody die?
ah, she didn't die, but she ended up severely ill.
Well, didn't you send it back from which it came?
I did. And I literally said those words because I don't know where it come from. Especially since we were in Heathenville, it could come from anybody. And I said, "Go back from whence you came." And I started to worship and such because Psalms 27 just remind me of a song. And I sang that song, and I went to sleep. And then the next day, I heard that I don't want to describe the sickness. Just know it was real bad.
Jade, I have a question. You remember when I was like fresh in the faith, right? And I tell you, Jade, girl, was I fresh? I can't remember, but it was earlier on. I don't know, a few years ago,
Mhm.
and I was like, Jade, my house, we having a set of accidents. Like mommy slice open her thumb. I do this, fan do like all sort of thing. And you gave me some scripture. And I started to pray and worship. Girl, when I tell you those situations stop happening, whatever demon was in my house, clear out to know. So when it comes to the spiritual things, for everybody who is watching us, do not be afraid. Like don't be too intimidated. Okay, there are ways to deal with these things, and they are very real. Understand that they are real, and they can come in the form of you dreaming demons. They could come in the form of multiple little incidents that you thinking, oh, that's a small thing. That's a small thing. It could come in the form of insects. I remember, it could come in the form of insects. We have some stories on those too. But know
Yeah.
that once you follow God and you understand his word, his truth, you can't get rid of these things. Because I just thinking about the person listening and they're just hearing our stories and they may not know how to deal with these things. But pick up the Bible. It is good for more than just a good read. Okay?
Or a snooze, a sleep,
Well,
a good
yeah,
night's
that
sleep.
too. That too. Well, good night, good morning, speak. But anyway, that's all I wanted to share before. I don't know if you want to move on because we have a lot of topics to cover.
I just want to ask a question before we go.
Go, of course.
Um, what about the cross that
As in
everybody like
the
to be
crucifix.
yeah, the crucifix that everybody like to be wearing?
Well, them things idols, we know that.
Yeah. Which
I mean,
yes.
there's used things for witchcraft too.
Yes, they just have. When the Obia don't work, they just turn to Jesus. That's what I hear.
Crucifix.
Because all of them high priests and them just have that in demonic high priests just have that in their thing. In their shrines, huh?
Yes.
The devil
Yes.
don't have anything of his own, you know. He will take everything that God made and turn it around.
Well,
Or
this is
try
what
to
I
turn
was
it
saying.
around. So a cross is a cross. But it's how they decide to do what they want to do with it.
And that's kind of my whole point on this thing. On Wait, no, I have a question before we move on actually. Because Jade, you said something earlier. You said you do believe that there are things that are demonic. Now I said I don't believe there are things that are demonic. I said I believe in demonic practices and thinking and such and such. What are some things that are demonic?
Well, to me, it's just sin in general. Like, sin is a demonic thing, is a demonic practice. So, yeah, once it have demonic practices, those demonic practices are demonic.
No, I meant physical. Like not things that we call things, like but
A
like
shrine.
Okay. Okay.
Tiny money.
Anything else? I
No,
learn in here, Okay. All
it's
right.
just all, all idols are demonic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Okay. With that,
Like
I agree. Yes,
shrine,
I agree with that.
a shrine and an idol will go hand in hand as they are used for the same purpose.
Well, some idols do have shrines around them, but
Well,
all shrines have idols in them.
I like your wordplay. I like it.
okay.
But no, I think I have a clearer understanding now. I understand.
Uh,
All right,
How
Tony.
about music?
of course.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
some very demonic songs. There's even a song to help you with astral projection. Eh? Like no lie. You can go on YouTube and find them.
Let's not
And just
promote that.
astral project. I mean, you don't want to promote it, but it's there in the world. Like Aaron say, have the knowledge that when you go and you see it, don't listen to it.
No, I mean, where to find it now?
I mean,
I thought you was going to call our site or something.
if you put it on Google, it will come up.
YouTube.
If you put it in, it will come up anywhere. So I will just tell you.
Okay.
I have a question, but let's read this first. There are items and symbols just now, eh? Well, they could read.
That are associated with witchcraft rituals, and as such, they attract the spirits which are connected to such practices. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Yeah. No, go ahead.
these these OBA people is using the Bible kind of thing. Some of the, like when they're children born, they just put the Psalms in a spees bag, I like to call it, because the snack spees,
Yeah.
it be smelling
Yeah.
like spees.
Wait,
So
so that particular
Um,
Bible demonic.
the black beads they
no,
like to put on children.
Then if she okay,
Call it
if sorry, what Sean was saying?
the
My
black
thing
beads they
lagging.
like to put on children hand and thing to ward away spirits.
oh yeah.
I can't remember
I
what
don't,
it's called now.
I've never heard of that, so I can't comment.
No, I'm
Yeah.
just saying that another way to prove what Susan Guerra said and what we were saying throughout the show is that is according to what you do with the material at hand is what will make it evil.
Well, that's why I ask you if that particular Bible would be demonic, because that particular person is using that particular Bible for demonic purposes.
No, well, the Bible wouldn't be
The
demonic.
Bible with me demon.
The you
The
said
action,
Yeah,
uh,
that's what I
the
mean.
action would be demonic.
I'm talking about
But
physical
for
thing,
people who
because
like
that I get. That I
no,
get.
but well, right. So then we could go back to the whole thing of crystals.
Mm-hmm.
Crystals in itself not demonic. That's the point that we made earlier.
It didn't sound like that to me.
But you agreeing and you're saying it is
No,
not
what
like
I
that to
no,
you.
I said that no, I said that I don't believe that things, physical things, like what God created is demonic. I think people who manipulate those things,
The only
uh,
one who disagreed with that was Aaron.
listen, maybe listen, it late.
Okay, Krista. All right. Hey, you all ever hear about this the witching hour?
Boy, yeah. Oh Lord.
No,
A little topic heavy
You
for
know the witching hour? Witching hour?
no.
People let's say about I think it's between 12 and 3 a.m.
Oh wait, never
It's the
mind, never
witching
mind.
hour.
I
That's
don't.
when
my mind.
Now
doing
that you
the
talk
thing.
about, I thought you meant like an event or something. Now you talk about time, yeah.
No,
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've
I
heard of it.
mean people doing witchcraft whenever they feel like. But apparently between the hours of 12 and 3 a.m., according to what I read, those are the hours when it is most powerful.
Thank God my worship will be playing does be playing at that time.
I just been sleeping.
My pray, I don't know, I just be sleeping, but my worship will be playing. I like to fall
I
asleep with worship
mean,
music.
oh, okay.
It
Okay,
soothes me.
cool.
Ollie, we could move on just a little bit
Pastor,
because I really want to talk about this other stuff.
yeah.
What all you think about tarot cards, personality tests, and what's the other thing? Astrology.
Out of
Let me
all
know.
those things, personality tests, I mean, eh, that's not really giving me witchcraft vibes. But the other things, yeah.
Well, Jade and I, not too long ago, were watching this video with what's this woman's name? Something Perry.
Somebody unimportant.
Yeah,
Thank
whatever.
I think
I,
it's Jackie.
Jackie Perry, I think that's it. Yes.
Yeah, she's overdo it sometimes, but yeah.
And she was talking about how the Enneagram, which is a personality test, is demonic, right?
Oh,
Now I have the background. I did some research, right, for tonight concerning the background of the Enneagram. Now they might think I did not think that it was demonic because it is not a case of all right, you're watching when you were born or you're applying yeah, basically
Yeah.
astrology, horoscope, you know, you're not consulting a demon to find out why you are how you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then in doing research, apparently you are consulting a demon to find out how you are and when you are and why you are when it comes to the Enneagram, because, and let me read it for you all once I can
Thank you.
find it. Right, look at right here, audience. Right, the founder of the Enneagram is actually an occultist. And not only that, if we really look at it properly, we will see that it applies numerology now. Now, some people will argue that the best numerologist it has out there is Jesus, because Jesus now God, because the book of Numbers, etc.
Uh-huh.
But so let me just give an introduction for people who don't know what the Enneagram is. The Enneagram um, is simply a categorization tool that classifies human personality into a typology of 9 interconnected personality types. Right? The symbol of the Enneagram is a figure composed of 3 parts: a circle, an inner triangle, and an irregular hexagonal periodic figure.
so up and down. Right, right, right.
Yes, it's literally a pentagram, yes.
Okay.
So, type 1, the reformer, the rational, idealistic type. Principled, purposeful, self controlled, and perfectionist. Type 2, the helper, the caring, interpersonal type. Demonstrative, generous, people pleasing, possessive. Type 3, the achiever, the success oriented, pragmatic type. Adaptive, excelling, driven, and image conscious. Type 4, the individualist, the sensitive, withdrawn type. Expressive, dramatic, self absorbed, and temperamental. Type 5, the investigator, the intense cerebral type, perceptive, innovative, secretive, and isolated. Type 6, the loyalist, the committed, security oriented type, engaging, responsible, anxious, suspicious. Type 7, the enthusiast, spontaneous, versatile, distractible, and scattered, which is the busy, fun loving type. Type 8,
How much types of tableau?
and 9,
9.
Mm.
type 8, which I discovered is yours truly, the challenger, the powerful, dominating type, self-confident, decisive, willful, and confrontational. Type 9, the peacemaker. The easygoing, self-effacing type. Receptive, reassuring, agreeable, and complacent. Right? So when we did these personality types, we realized that Aaron is a type 3, the achiever. Krista is a type 9, which is what? The peacemaker.
Peacemaker or
And I'm
mediator.
a type 8, which is the challenger. Now, everybody who knows us knows that these things are quite accurate,
No, so not
Yes.
right?
for me.
Huh?
So not for me.
Right? And I think I encouraged mommy to do it too, and she was type 6, I think
Six
it
or
was,
something. I think
which
she was
is,
a six.
yeah, which is the loyalist, committed, security oriented type, engaging, responsible, anxious, and suspicious, right? And we were going about our lives as such because this gave us a chance to be like, oh, that is why XYZ is the case, ABC is the case, right? Until, well, we stumbled upon this video,
Mm-hmm.
and as I said, it was an occultist who discovered it. His name is George's I something that is not English, and he considered the Enneagram a symbol of the cosmos, but made no connection with it to personality types. And then this next occultist, who is Oscar Icazo, said that the archangel Metatron told him and informed him about the Enneagram while he was high on something called mescaline. So in my research, I discovered that Metatron, Optimus
Yeah.
Prime,
Same
Metroton,
thought. Same thought.
Metroton is well, it's in the Hebrew Bible, the Jewish Bible, and something to do with he's the second Messiah and some kind of something, right? I have it there, but I just
It,
just
it
know it's a
late.
demon
I
that
understand.
inspired it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, these things, and then what the person was trying to say in the video as well is that we will look for self discovery in the Enneagram rather than looking for self discovery in God, which in turn will be a demonic practice. Because
I agree with that.
you're making your identity type 8, you're making your identity type 1, you're making your identity type whatever, instead of knowing that your identity is a child of God.
Also, one other thing I'd like to add to that is when you do that, okay, all I ever heard, because I could draw a comparison to the astrology thing, all I ever heard people on social media being like, oh, there's a Cancer energy coming out of me, or I'm like this because I'm a Cancer, I'm a Leo, oh, that type of thing. You're also not, you're also allowing yourself to stay stagnant and complacent in terms of your spiritual growth. Whereas when you look at the Bible, as Jay said, you are allowing God to lead you and discover who you are through God. God also refines you. God also changes certain things. Whereas these enneagrams and these astrology businesses, they are stagnant, they are stuck. And so when you identify yourself as those things, you also stay stuck in those things. You don't grow, you don't overcome whatever jealousy you had, or what's a bad trait that one of the other, whatever bad traits.
Dictatorship type 8.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I was thinking about you. Anyway, anyway, any one of those things, you stay stagnant. I have seen when I look at when we did the Enneagram thing, one of the things that I noticed was how much we have grown. Like we can identify, okay, yes, this was us a few years ago or a few years back, but because of God, and we didn't study these things, we actually elevated and evolved, right? And I think that, so that's why I agree that it is a demonic practice. Astrology as well. I don't know about the tarot cards. I don't know about that, so I can't really comment. But I guess I'll throw it in the
Yeah,
basket
they
as
just
well.
use that for Obia to tell the future and stuff.
Okay, so then I'll throw it in the basket as well. And yeah, that's all I have to add to it. You stay stagnant, you don't move. And that's what the enemy wants. He does not want you to grow. He does not want you to understand your power. He does not want you to understand how good God is. And so he uses these things, these distractions, to keep you stuck.
Yeah, because when I was reading about my type, right? And they said they gave like a list of people who are type 8. And most of them were people who like conquered certain dynasties and people who were serious dictators like Fidel Castro was a type 8 apparently. And I looked at it and I said, yes, Jade, you really have those tendencies. However, after I listened to the video and Krista and I really sat and spoke about it, I said to myself, I said, but this is not me though. I saw me before I decided to have a serious relationship with Christ. That was me before that.
Yeah.
And me now is not that. Because they were saying that type 8s have the ability to be like, I don't want to say serial killers, but yeah, when they're angry and those things, and I was like, but that's not me. I don't want to kill nobody. So yeah,
Okay. I
but
understand why they say that now, but
still take the turn.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. What you say is still trying to because I mean,
Still take,
maybe
still take.
when they do the test, you see something about yourself like, no boy, this need to change, and then well, then not everybody's the same, but
I
you
think that
know,
comes from maturity, though. Like as we were saying earlier, if you are like spiritually strong and strong minded or whatnot, you are less likely to be susceptible to certain things.
yeah.
I mean, I recognize the pull. I will agree. I recognize the pull towards it. For real,
Now it
for
have a
real.
serious
It
pull
have a
because
pull.
yeah, because it's like you are reading yourself. I don't even know how to explain. If you think horoscope and astrology have a pull, no,
No,
that is nothing
no.
compared to the Enneagram. Trust me.
Agreed.
You will,
Wholeheartedly agree.
yeah, it's like you will discover yourself in that Enneagram.
Yes. We were freaking out.
Yes, your love style, why you prefer people, different people, all kind of thing.
Can I just say a quick story? I was struggling to identify which one I was, and when I actually finally identified, they predicted that I would struggle to figure out which one I was. All
That's great.
down to that. So it have a pull. I will say this: it has a pull. I'm glad I was able to reject it. Though. Thank God, like thank God. But
And
it have a pull.
like
It have a
to,
pull.
to release yourself from the pull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Alright.
They're
Uh,
even using it like love languages
oh God. Yes.
because Aaron is a 3 and I'm an 8. I thought Aaron would be an 8 too. But Aaron is a 3 and I'm an 8. And just the other day we were talking about like when we sense weakness in people. Oh, like weakness in others. When we sense weakness in others, there's two things with us, right? Is either you take advantage of our weakness or you feel utterly disgusted. And we were like, no, these things, these things need to change. Those, you understand? And according to the Enneagram, because we are like that, that's why we so that's why we so cool. So, it's a lot of crazy, demonic, and weird things that they. But do the test.
That's the curious
Wow,
day talking.
all
Curious
you
day.
just said. The
You know how
simple
curious mind. Come
abilities.
on. Come on, Shad.
Listen, listen. I would have just do it out of curiosity, but I not,
I
you
mean,
know.
yes, I still want to do the test, like.
Well, if you're
I'm
doing
not
the
lying. I want to do it.
yeah, but if
I
you're
want the
doing the
answers though.
test, yeah, I just want the answers. That's what
I
I'm
want
saying.
the
If you're doing
answer.
it, but if you're doing the test, just know that those things don't define you.
Agreed.
Well, yeah. I just want to know what they will say.
You know
And if
what's
there's anything that, oh my gosh, I didn't really do that, I need to change this. If it's bad.
Yeah, it will have you like that too. It will have you like that too.
Right?
Oli, I have a short story, right? And this one is not about the Enneagram. This one was about astrology. I don't know if Oli knew this, but I used to be heavy, heavy. I used to believe in that thing. Every day I looking up that thing. I looking up the horoscope, like you know how they had the daily horoscopes, like what your day is good now. But I didn't really take that on, but I would still look at it,
Also
and
curious. See,
yes, and I used to be heavy on it. Like I was one of them. I was one of them girls that would be like, "Oh God, I can't be with you because of this." And I would no, okay.
Ooh.
I'm not judging. I am not judging. Go ahead.
And and I was
I
pissed.
judging.
I am. I judging you
Shut
real
up,
hard.
I
shut up.
judging.
Anyway, shut up. And I'm not done. And like I had a crush, right? And every day I would go up on the internet trying to figure out, okay, how could we make this work? Because he was something I like they said that we couldn't be together, or like no, they said we would have awesome sex,
Oh
but we would
Lord.
no. But they say the trust part would be dead now, like the actual friendship and relationship would be dead. And I was like, I don't want this. So how I was like strategizing, looking at this thing, okay, how if I do how, and then they have on the astrology thing, they teach you, they say this is how you date this type of a Sagittarius, so this is how you date or court a Cancer. And okay, I was like, okay, you know what, I could do this, I could I could do that. And it's so funny now, like I'm sitting here and I'm laughing at myself a little bit because like I know better, like when you've been enlightened and when
And
you've been freed, you look back at these things and you're just like, oh, hey boy, what the hell was I on? And
and
how you could possibly believe so. I remembering how strong I was in it. Like the pull for me was strong.
hmm,
And now I looking at this thing, it's on my screen, and I'm like, wow, this BS. This asikaka. Like, what is this?
hmm.
So I just that's my little quick story on deliverance. I wanted to just randomly throw it in there because that's what I do. I randomly throw stories in.
Yo, I was in a church where I can't remember if it was New Year's, Christmas, something so, but the pastor gave each person of the congregation an envelope. Now I'm in a folder and it had
Oh
your
my
name on it.
goodness.
And when you open it, it have what your lucky numbers are and what those
Yes.
numbers mean and what
Yes.
sign you were born under and what does that mean. It also gave you the meaning of your name on a whole list sheet
I
of
remember that.
paper. And I'm like, at the point in time, I didn't really take it on because, nothing like me. I didn't really take it
Hmm.
on thing. But time was going on, and I kept thinking about this thing. More we heard the conversation and stuff. I was like, wait now. This pastor was astrology and numerology really to everybody in the congregation? What am making sense?
My alarm, I wasn't enlightened either. I was not enlightened, but my alarm started going off. I don't know why. My alarm
Yes,
just started going off,
you're
but
reading
I
it and
was
it's
not
like
enlightened.
you know something wrong, but you don't
Mhm.
know. It's like,
Mhm.
I'm supposed to be reading this. Is this
Mhm.
something good? And then you realize exactly that it is not good. Why was the pastor telling me what my lucky numbers are and what each number means for my life? And you're born under so and so star and what that means for your life. I was like, what? What are you doing? What is this? Yeah. So I experienced it in a church firsthand. That witchcraft free.
Witchcraftery.
Craft free. Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I
Wow.
remember a time. Um, well, I am a dreamer. Everybody know I'm a dreamer, right? So I used to go on this website and look up what my dreams mean.
Hmm.
And on the website, they would have, and this is an indicator that is witches operating the website. They would have like what is called them? Few fortune tellers. They would have fortune tellers advertising their businesses on the website. And then, but I, well, you see, not being enlightened, you're telling yourself, that fake thing, them just want money. So I gone, because you all know I'm the cat, curiosity, and I gone and I put in my whole information in the people thing. Well, boy, put in my whole government name in the
Lord,
people thing. And I tell him, I said, let me see what crap these people going and tell me here today. And when I tell you all, it wasn't crap. Just that it was not crap, okay? It was that these people, the enemy, tell them my whole business so that
he's
they
active
could tell me my whole business.
and let you know.
And I was like, and earlier, like them tell me I was going to get engaged and thing, you know.
Well,
And
well,
they was like, look out for next year because you're going to get engaged next year. And I just was like, how much a stripper is? And then I was listening to a Cindy Trim prayer, and she was saying that these people just have your name. Like they just keep your name.
Oh,
And it's only after that because she was like, she wanted to destroy every piece of information that you gave to the enemy, right? So
mm-hmm.
whether it be a piece of your hair, clothing, your name,
Who does he?
this, that, the other. Look,
Who does
your
it?
hair is falling off, right? And she was talking about the fact that they just keep your name and all these different things. And then that's when I awoke and I was like, all right, that's it. After I prayed that in the trim prayer, I believe that, my name is no longer there. And I know
So
my name
that is
is
why
no
you tell
longer
me
there.
that.
And yes, because you
Remember
remember
on TikTok?
on TikTok, right?
Thank
And
God I ain't put nothing in.
girl, and yeah, I don't know what happened. I just stopped getting emails. Thank God. I can't remember. I think I just forget about that and I just stopped getting emails. So
you see how easy it is to fall into
to
witchcraft?
these traps,
Yes.
because
Simple,
people
simple
perish.
See, that's it.
curiosity.
Yes.
Curiosity
And
getting you into
sometimes not even
witchcraft.
intentionally. That's what, like, that's my whole point too. Like, sometimes you just fall into it and you're not aware. You're not awake.
That is why, like Aaron was saying. get your knowledge in your brain from a please.
When you're young and
Or
notice.
you will get yourself in trouble. That is not the way to go. The only spirit to believe in is the Holy Spirit, no other spirit.
It's
None.
good to have a pastor, it's good to have a church family, but also pick up that book for yourself and read it.
Thank you.
Interpret. Talk to God and say, God, help me interpret. Like what you're trying to say right here in this
Have
word.
your
Tell
own
me.
relationship.
Exactly.
Have a relationship with God through somebody else. Have your own relationship with God because you will get in trouble.
And have
Even
nowhere to
like,
be, or feel
even
like you have nowhere to be pulled out. Sorry, Jade.
even things like manifestation and all of that, we had to
Mm.
know if these things, because we know the Bible said to write the vision and make it plain,
Mm-hmm.
right? But when it comes to like manifestation, I ain't doing enough research to know if those things are considered
New Age
witchcraft or
or
not.
witchcraft. Yeah.
Yeah, because well, we know New Ageism and witchcraft is the same. They
Yeah, yeah.
this law of attraction and all of that, but I ain't doing enough research and that's why I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, y'all, this is a lot. We didn't touch most of the things because witchcraft is a serious topic. I don't know if we will decide to do like a part two so we can really talk about like the manifestation and certain new age practices and so, well we talk about the crystals and the sage, so that's new age. But
Maybe not right away. Maybe like when we have the knowledge and we feel like we know for sure what it is we're talking about. We have that knowledge, we have that wisdom, and we know how to present it to everybody. That's when I think we should do a part two to this. Because it's a lot. It's a lot.
right? So and we didn't talk about soul ties. That is a biblical concept. But that well, I know Krista mentioned that could be a topic on its own and stuff.
True, yes.
So, but yeah, guys, well, are we ready or
I feel we good. I feel like we touch on what we could touch on for tonight.
I feel like we give them a whole lot,
Kent?
Enough
especially
to
with
start
a
the
lot of
research.
stories of
What
our
should I say?
experiences. We give them a lot of stories about our experiences.
Yeah,
So
we have so many more. If
many
only
more.
we know.
Wow.
Seeing demons all in your room.
Oh, that's the next thing. Thank God for Jesus. Thank God for Jesus.
Oh Lord Jesus. You know what I really wanted us to talk about? You see
What?
sleep paralysis? Well, yeah, sleep paralysis hit me the other day.
Listen.
You
Sleep
want to
paralysis.
overload the people on their brain?
Sleep paralysis is a physical thing, eh? That's when you're trying to wake up, but your brain,
Body.
yes, but your body ain't ready to get up yet, and your brain
Yeah.
trying to prevent your body from, yeah,
Waking off at
injuring yourself. But then it have other kind of
but
sleep
they have other
paralysis.
things,
Eh?
yes. Yes. There are other things.
Oh, let's stay there and take wax.
Next topic. Listen, we gotta get them a breather earlier. They had to breathe after all this. They had to do the little research on their own as well. Also, guys, don't take what we say as word. Anytime you're on the internet searching, please don't just take one person's word as Bible. Look it up, research, talk to people who you know knowledgeable about certain things, and get the information for yourself because these are real things. And if you don't know, we said this earlier. If you don't know,
Now you
and if you're
know.
not aware, if you don't know, you will easily be get caught. You will easily get caught up. All
True.
right.
Correct. Correct.
So yeah, that's it for tonight, guys.
Thank
We
God.
hope you enjoyed. This is the spooky episode. And thank you all for watching. Once again, this is Hear This Now, and you can find us on Facebook at Hear This Now, Instagram at Hear This Now, I think, or is that Facebook?
Yes,
I can't remember.
But
it's
this
Instagram,
Instagram,
right? Instagram at Hear This Now. Where else we are? Y'all TikTok.
TikTok.
We on TikTok at Hear This Now. Like this video, subscribe if you're not subscribing already, and see you guys this month.
Oh yeah, yeah.
yes.
Bye.
And look out for all our other short videos and such that we drop in everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and everything else. We're not on Twitter.
Yes.
Anyhow,
No, we're not. No.
bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.